Hello, happy campers. Tony here again with Stressless Camping with another e-bike review. This is now my third one, and this one is of the Puckipuppy Beagle. And first of all, you might say, who in the wide world of sports is Puckipuppy? That's what I said. They reached out and said, hey, you want to try one of our bikes? And who am I to turn down a bike? I was curious what the build quality and how these things were. And bottom line, I'm pretty happy with this bike. I have reviewed two other bikes, which are step-through folding e-bikes, and you can find those reviews. One is a rad power bike, the other an electric XP 3.0. So I'll have links to both of those reviews. And we did this week's RV podcast at stresslesscamping.com is all about e-bikes, why you'd want one and all of that. And you can find that here. So there you go. So who is Puckipuppy? It is a e-bike manufacturer, and it was founded by a dude who saw that his dog was a good companion on all his adventures and thought, hey, I got an idea. And so all the bikes that Puckipuppy makes are named after dogs. For example, the one that we're testing today is called the Beagle. It's a 26 by 4 inch fat tire e-bike, and it comes kind of assembled. And so I have this sort of video here of me putting it together. Honestly, I'm a dude. I didn't read the instructions, and it went together just fine and no issues. It was very well packaged. And so if you look at the bike, I think it's really nice looking, and it didn't come scratched or damaged or ruined in any way. Even though, I think that a lot of these things can get damaged in shipping. And let's be honest, everything, like this is made in China, so it came a long way away. It showed up nicely. The package was slightly damaged, and that didn't seem to affect the bike because it's just really wrapped up well in all this packaging. So, as I said, it didn't take a brain surgeon. I didn't look at the manual until after the bike was finished, and I'm like, hey, I wonder if I missed anything. No, it just went together well. What do I like about this bike? The build quality seems really good. It is a solid bike. My buddy Michael also got to try it, and he has a very similar bike to this, but built by Rad Power Bikes. He says this one feels a little less sophisticated than that, but that it still seems like a good bike. And gosh, the value is absolutely there. So much came with this bike. It came with the mirrors and the rack and and there's actually a horn. It came with headlight. I'm trying to think of what all. Oh, an alarm, a bike lock. A lot of stuff came with the bike. What I really liked about the bike, first and foremost, is the seat. It is really well designed, and it does have some springs underneath it, so it's very comfortable on the roads. And then on the other end, the front of the bike has adjustable forks, and so it's got some cushioning there. So it's a comfortable riding bike, and the large tires contribute. We rode it throughout the desert here in New Mexico, and it did pretty well. It's made out of 661 aluminum, or aluminium if you're in England. It's a 48-volt, 15-amp-hour battery, which you can charge on or off the bike. And they claim 40 to 60 miles of range, and as I've said in other reviews, it's kind of like the gas in your vehicle, right? You could fill up and go a long distance, or drive like a maniac and go a shorter distance. Same thing. It's a 750 watt hub motor. They claim a 400-pound capacity for this bike. So, I'm not pushing the limits on this one. It's got decent acceleration. It does not feel as lively as my electric XP 3.0, but it's also a heavier bike. and I haven't fiddled with the controls, and that's another thing. It's a color LCD on the handlebars, and you can go deep into the menus and make some adjustments, and it's very flexible what all you can modify on this bike in terms of the software. It's got good brakes. They're 180 millimeter rotors, and I like that there is a brake light on the back as well as a tail light. So overall, I think it's a well-made bike. I think there's a lot of value there. I think it's good looking, but that's perception, right? You might like it, you may not. Overall, the riding experience, it was a good position, comfortable, quick, rode it around the desert, rode it on the streets, and I think they do a good job. And as I said, I think the value is absolutely there. So that's kind of a big deal. What I didn't like about the bike was the rear view mirrors, which did come with it. I could only put one mirror on. Well, it came with a phone holder too. So I had to choose safety or a good place to put my phone. And I picked a phone because that's the way it is. So I didn't have room on the right side for the right side mirror. I did put the left side mirror on, and the mirrors are lousy, the standard mirrors. I have on my electric mirrors that kind of stick at the ends of the handlebars, and I didn't look. If Puckipuppy offers those, get those, because these basically you're looking at yourself. I put a bunch of the accessories, hey, there it was, on the handlebars that came with the bike, actually. Here's your control. If you press the down button, it's kind of what they call walk mode. Let's see how fast this is. So it takes off pretty good. So if you're not expecting it, it could be a surprise. And, you have your various menu options. It might be hard to see. Let's see if I can get this. No, not really. The display is a bit dim, but you can brighten it. I like how they put the kickstand far behind the pedal, so if you're pushing the bike backwards, like maybe to get out of a parking spot, it doesn't interrupt the kickstand. I also thought it was odd that it was a plastic kickstand with so much of the rest of the bike being made out of metal, but it works. So maybe I'm putting, making a mountain out of a molehill or whatever the heck. Overall, I think they've done a good job with this. Definitely, as I said, the value. I have really no complaints other than the rear view mirror, but hey, it came with it, and I had to pay extra for that on both my rad and my electric. So there you go. I mean, pretty much everything I would have wanted was here, including a whole set of tools. So all the tools I needed to put this together were in the box. So would I recommend this bike? Yes. I do think you should look at, if you're going to get an e-bike, so why would you want an e-bike? And I've said this in other reviews. Let's say you want to kind of be more healthy, right? So e-bike means you can just use it as a regular old everyday bicycle, right? No motor, just pedaling the bike. They are heavy. They all are because of battery and all that. But let's say you want to start doing more healthy stuff. So you can use this as just a regular bike. And what I've done is I've ridden until I'm, don't want to ride anymore. And then I use the electric assist to get me back to where I started from. You can also use the electric assist as you go up hills. So let's say you're riding, and all of a sudden a big hill comes, you dial up the assist. The assist can be stepped up or down in increments. There's 5 steps. And so like 1 is kind of just a gentle nudge, and up to 5, which is a kick in the tail. And so you can dial that up and down, and you can do it as you go. There's a convenient switch right there on the left. You could ride it like an electric motorcycle, really. I mean, if you could never pedal and just ride this around, or again, use it with assist, or just shut the motor off altogether. So they offer a lot more flexibility. Well, anyway, if you'd like more information, we have a full written review at our home on the web at stresslesscamping.com, which is also where you can find deals, discounts, RV hints, our weekly RV podcast, weekly RV reviews, and so much more. Again, at stresslesscamping.com. And as with all YouTubers, if you would hit the like or subscribe, that helps our channel grow. And hopefully we can provide value to you, especially if you're an RVer. That's the name of the game for us. Thank you so much. Hopefully this review was helpful. If you're shopping for an e-bike, you might check out the whole e-bike podcast this week at stresslesscamping.com. And most of all, stressless camping. And there's actually a horn.